Show you and tell you a little about an item that means a lot to me and my culture. Not a lot of people know this about me, but I'm actually part Egyptian on my mom's side. And this bracelet that I'm going to pass around means a lot to me for a couple of different reasons. It has my name written on it in hieroglyphs. It's made out of gold. And it was given to me by my mom the last time we were in Egypt together. Firstly, my family goes to Egypt a lot to visit relatives and sometimes to get in touch with our roots. It's kind of a weird thing. Egypt is one of the most ancient civilizations in the world, and they carry a lot of those old traditions with them into their culture nowadays. For instance, they have these markets where I got that at, in big squares with snake charmers, musicians, food vendors with olives and limes, and all kinds of craftsmen like metal workers, leather workers, and so on. But now they're in big cities like Cairo. And one of the proudest things that Egyptians have to show for their culture is their golden jewelry work, which they've been famous for since ancient times. While it ties me to my roots, the reason I never take it off is because of the sentimental value behind it. The trip to Egypt when I got this bracelet was also my last family trip when my parents would still be together. So one day after I got that bracelet while we were still in Egypt, my mom brought me and my little brother down to the hotel lobby at the restaurant down there. And she sat us down and you knew that she had something on her mind. But it took her a while to say it, but eventually she told us that her and my dad would be getting divorced. Neither of us were really that surprised because my mom and my dad have been fighting all of our lives. But we were a little sad because who doesn't want to see their parents together happy? We had a lot of questions, like where my dad would live, what would happen on visits. But we were old enough that we were kind of on our own path, and I was going to boarding school, so I didn't see my family that often anyway. So I was never really that worried about what would happen when we got home. I spent the next few days just thinking about what it would mean to me and how my life would change. It wasn't until I realized that this trip to Egypt would be my last family trip altogether that I started to get a little sad. So after that day, I made a promise to wear that bracelet every day. I feel connected to my family when I wear it, even when we're far apart. It reminds me of my past. It reminds me of my family in Egypt, my culture, my country, and it reminds me of those great trips that we took all together when I was growing up. Thanks.